Welcome back to Fireside Fears. Tonight's nightmare is about a room that didn't trap someone with walls, locks, or chains, but with something far worse. Something that behaves like it's alive. Something that understands fear. Turn off your lights, lower your volume, and don't look behind you as the story unfolds. Because once this room notices you, it never forgets. The room that wouldn't let me leave. I never believed places could think. I believed people thought, animals thought, maybe even computers thought. But buildings? No. A room was just a room. Until the one inside my cousin's house proved me wrong. The house was old, built in the 1950s, entirely ordinary. My cousin inherited it from an uncle none of us really knew. He asked me to help him clean it out so he could sell it. I agreed. We spent a full day hauling out boxes, sorting junk, and throwing away ancient furniture. Everything inside the house felt normal, except for the last door at the end of the hall on the second floor. It looked almost untouched, like nobody had bothered to open it in decades. When I went to turn a knob, my cousin said, "Leave that one for last." Uncle Henry told me never to use that room. His exact words were, "If it opens again, don't go in." Weird, right? He smiled, but it looked forced. Like saying it out loud made him uneasy. Hours passed. We cleared everything else. Eventually, that door was the only thing left. I turned the knob just to test it, and it clicked open with barely any pressure. Inside was a small bedroom. Just a wooden floor, a narrow bed, and a single window covered by heavy curtains. Dust floated in the air like tiny insects. Nothing strange, nothing creepy. Not at first. But as soon as I stepped inside, I heard a soft scratching sound behind me. When I turned around, the door had closed on its own. I reached for the knob, twisted it, and felt it jam, like something on the other side was holding it shut. "Hey, open it!" I shouted. My cousin tried twisting the knob from his side. It didn't budge. "Hold on, I'll get a screwdriver," he said. That's when the air inside the room changed. It felt thicker, warmer, like something was breathing with me. I backed away from the door and suddenly heard soft footsteps on the wooden floorboards. Not mine, not my cousin's. The sound came from the corner of the room, the corner I wasn't looking at. I turned toward it, and the room grew darker. Not gradually, instantly, like someone dimmed the sun outside. I blinked. My vision adjusted just enough to make out a shape. A person, standing perfectly still, facing the wall. I didn't hear them walk there. They were just there. "Hello?" I whispered. The figure didn't move, but the scratching sound did. Now it was coming from the walls. All of them, as if nails were running up and down the inside of the room. I ran back to the door and slammed my fist against it. My cousin shouted something, but the walls muffled his voice too much to understand. Then, the figure in the corner turned its head. Just its head. The slow, grinding movement sounded like bones cracking. What I saw wasn't a face. It was flat, smooth, like melted wax. And then it began walking toward me. Not fast, but with long, deliberate steps that made the floorboards groan. I grabbed the knob again. This time it turned. My cousin must have forced it open from the outside. The door flew wide, and I stumbled into the hallway. "Dude, what happened? You look pale," he said. Before I could answer, the door behind me slammed shut again, hard enough to shake the frame. My cousin swallowed. We should probably not open that again. We left the house at once. He sold it the next week. Not to someone we knew, just a random buyer who didn't ask many questions. A few days later, I received a text from an unknown number. Why were you in my room? No name, no introduction, just that. I tried calling the number. It didn't exist. When I went to show the text to my cousin later, it had disappeared from my phone entirely. That night, as I was trying to fall asleep, I heard footsteps outside my bedroom door. Slow, deliberate, just like before. And then, a soft scratch on the wood. I tried not to breathe. I tried not to move. A whisper slid under the door. You didn't leave. You just changed rooms. Something is standing outside my door right now as I record this. And I know without opening it, without seeing it, that if I do, I'll see the same figure standing in the corner of my room, waiting. The house was just the beginning. The room is not a place. It's an entity, and it follows me everywhere I go. I don't know how much longer I can keep it out. Thank you for joining me tonight at Fireside Fears. If you felt the walls closing in, if you heard scraping sounds when everything should have been silent, don't worry. Rooms like that only go after people who listen until the very end. Sleep tight. And remember, some doors shouldn't be opened, especially the ones that open by themselves.